Switched Unbridled Potion of Fury to my hotkey instead of my mount.
Hello, welcome to the barrens chat. Today we've got a few different people. We've got Goonie on her Demon Hunter, going to do massive deeps. We have Lang as our healer, he's pretty cool. We have Nif again on Happy Pony, and Scott tanking again, our favourite tank. This week we're going to be talking about BFA as a whole, and whether it was good or whether we didn't like it. I know the popular opinion on this is not very popular, but I think it's a great expansion. Can we start off by just asking what expansion you guys started in? Scott, you go first.
I joined in the Burning Crusade, so...
And quite early then.
Yes.
Nicole, you were quite early, weren't you?
Yeah, vanilla.
Lang, when did you start?
Lich King.
Oh, cool. So, quite a few older players. Goonie?
Oi!
I started in BFA actually, so I'm quite new to the game.
So a nice neutral opinion, not clouded by nostalgia. And I started in technically in vanilla, but not really. But yeah, end game was Lich King for me. It took me that long to level up. Go to that. So, as a new player, what did you think of the expansion as a whole? Have you enjoyed it? I mean, you're still playing, so assuming so.
Yeah, I enjoyed it actually because like it gave me a nice start. The only thing that was like when you were leveling up, it was so much jumping forward and backwards,
Yeah.
like between expansion and such. But getting into like BFA was pretty nice before, like when season 1 was still a thing in Mythics.
I thought it was great. A few of us in my guild, we got the first day off, the first week off, and just went crazy leveling, getting straight to the mythic dungeons, gearing up straight away. It was great. We absolutely loved it. Every system was amazing. We loved everything about it. And it wasn't long before you heard the complaints start. So was there anything you didn't like out of it? Like, is there anything that you were like, oh, this is no good?
Well, nothing at right now, like, basically, I felt like everything was okay, because, like, it was, after all, my first love expansion. So, like, but the only thing was, like, the grinding, not being able to fly when you come, like, having to fly, like, in Legion, Draenor,
Yeah.
and all over Kamelandor, and then getting used to, like, walking around, like... That was quite tedious.
I can imagine so, yeah. Sorry, Nif?
Now also the farming needed to play Alt this expansion with the cloak and essences and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the essences, you know, I mean, a lot of the essences on my alts were just the ones that you get from, like, Mythic Plus, and, like, the real easy ones to get, you don't have to make effort for. So it was kind of alt unfriendly in that respect. Then they tried to cure that with the vendor, but even that was a bit late for that, to be fair.
Yeah, it's not very Alt friendly, to be honest.
Not at all. No. That is the one biggest downfall for this expansion, in my opinion.
Yeah, same. It's stressful when you enjoy playing Alt and now have to do all this stuff just for them to be like semi-viable.
And maybe you're tired of your main already and like want to change, and then you realize when you get to 120,
How much
oh,
work
I
it
have the
is.
cloak. Yeah, like if they would be able to like make you skip more instead of just the dungeons, that would be amazing. Like, I didn't mind doing the Blackrock thing, but there's a bug that makes you like, if you are in a group that isn't in there and they kick you from it, you have to start all over again.
Alright.
So that was really not a cool thing, because that happened to me and my friends 3 times. And we were almost at the end and we were like, are you joking with me right now?
I mean, for me, there's been a few ups and a few downs throughout the expansion. I mean, I absolutely love the gear system in BFA. Controversially, I think, because a lot of people seem to hate it. A lot of people I spoke to you at the start was that was one of the biggest downfalls was Azerite armor. Now, for me, they were saying stuff that was just being repeated from things that they'd heard big streamers, big YouTubers say, and a lot of it didn't make sense in stuff that they were saying, like for the players and the levels that they were doing. And I do think that in today's society, that being negative is a way to sound. You know, people do it just to do it, and so a lot of the arguments didn't make sense. So I called them out on the BS a little bit, but I actually thought Azerite armor was great because it's. Look at what it actually is customizable tier sets.
Yeah, I like Azerite as well. I know it's debated a lot, but
My bad.
it's kind of cool system to bring some choices to
Yeah.
the class, I guess.
Unless
I like
you're
that you've got more
min-maxing.
options.
And it changes sometimes with the scaling of gear and stuff, like new. I don't mind that part.
I mean, it gave Holy Paladins one of the best builds they've ever had.
Yeah, I play Holy Paladin. It's really fun to play Glimmer.
So it just changed the way a character will play. You know, there's so much cool stuff you could do with it. I'm just gonna cloak this out. By the flatulence. No, it's a really cool system, and not only that, you have. So everyone always compares it when I speak about this. I do kind of have this conversation a lot with other people. A lot of people say, well, BFA was better, and I agree. BFA was awesome. One of the best expansions we've ever had, in my opinion. But we also have like what has changed from Legion, where we had these awesome artifact weapons that everyone was dead into. And I think that's kind of, there was a bit of class fantasy, a bit extra for each class to do. And whereas now you've got like the war campaign and I don't know, there's a fair few things, a few new systems, and all they've done is built onto systems more.
Yeah.
So for all as good as the artifact weapons in Legion looked, you're actually, you know, it's the same thing. Eventually, you just got a maxed out weapon with all the traits you were meant to get. There's no customizability. The interesting thing with Azerite weapons was how to level them up to get the best out of them early on, and at the end, you were all the same anyway. Whereas with the systems we've got in place now, it's each choice is meaningful. Isn't that what people wanted?
Yeah, I kind of feel both the what's it called, the legendary weapons and the neck is for me not very. I don't like those systems. I do like Azerite. But
Azerite is in Azerite power or Azerite
It's just-
armor?
no, the armor and how you can like choose stuff, but the legendary neck with the essences and stuff, it's just another thing to farm. And same with the weapons. I mean, you have to do content to get certain things, but
I mean, isn't that the way an RPG should be anyway?
yeah. But if you're a PvPer and you have to go to raid,
Oh,
it's
okay, yeah.
like,
I mean, we were talking about this before, weren't we, Lang? I mean, I forget who I was talking to about it when you said, "Oh, I haven't got that essence because even though it's good, I don't want a PvP." And
Yeah.
That's just not my game style, so I don't want to be forced into that.
Yeah, that's like with me. Bloody rank 3 conflict and strife is PvP and one of my best, but I can't stand it.
see,
Yeah,
this is the where I kind of fall into a bias, is because I play all sorts of different. I'm not very good at PvP, but I do enjoy playing it. So for me, I'm like, oh, that's not an issue, but for so many people, it actually is an issue, isn't it?
Yeah, because not everyone has people they want to play with, because some people play solo and like such and don't like to do the PvP part of the game and like such, so forcing them to either do raids or like run high dungeons or such, that's just, it's forced and it shouldn't be forced upon people. Like there should be by other means, like say that the conflict and strife one, let's say that you're don't like to do PvP, but you like to do dungeons. Like, they could have made it so that you could get it in another way as well.
Do you think maybe if they'd have had the essence as a currency system where it is now, where you can go and buy them, Do you think that would have been a better system, and then maybe that wouldn't have been the case because you can just buy the ones you want, and then you can farm out the rest of them over time.
I think that would have been better.
I mean, obviously, the more you do, the quicker you get them, but that way, you're not at as much of a disadvantage. You're still going to be disadvantaged because I do think that if people are playing all aspects of the game and doing well in all of them, they should be able to, have some sort of reward for that. Like, there should be a reason to want to do stuff. You'd probably still get it at the end. You'd all be in the same place, but you'd probably get it sooner than the people that weren't doing PvP. And same with Mythic Plus. The PvP players that want to do the Mythic Plus and have like the beam, or in a battleground, or I don't know if that's any good.
It's also the logic of it. You have to do PvP to get the best PvE essence. Like, they should at least make it more cohesive.
Yeah.
So that if you do PvP, you get the best you can get for PvP.
So we spoke about a bit of gearing and the systems in place there. What do you think about the leveling zones? Do you think
Leveling zones were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're quite good.
I think this is something that they get quite right often, because I can't think of any expansion it wasn't fun to level through. Initially, the first time through, no one wants to go back through Cataclysm, through Vizier the second time, but the first time it was exciting. It was the first underwater zone. That, it was great. I know it gets a lot of criticism now, but
I hated it. Even then, just awful.
Yeah. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just like really quite, happy with whatever they give me. I'm a shill and I'm proud of it. But Warlords. Warlords is a perfect example of the leveling experience being amazing. If you discount garrisons, the leveling experience being amazing, and then at the end just being nothing. Whereas I think with BFA, the leveling experience is great. It's got some of these really cool storylines, and complete storylines as well. So, like, obviously, if you Horde, you're going to go into Zul'Dar and watch Zul try and overthrow Rastakhan, and eventually, throughout the course of the end game, see Princess Talanchi take over. And it's a really cool, complete story. You might want to move the... Oh, never mind. We're dead.
That's why I was so low.
Yeah. I was like, why are you not moving this guy? Yeah, so you get this full... on the Alliance side, you get Jaina's...
Jaina making up with her mother.
Wow. You went there.
Yeah. If they don't know it now, come on.
I don't think they made out. I'll just throw that out there. But yeah, basically her kind of reclamation into the Kulturian family. And it also brought into the whole Tide Priests. It was interesting. And that went on to Ashvane, who obviously had the dungeons, King's Rest and Total Core to finish off a bit of that storyline as well. So I think for me personally, the storyline was so complete, so engaging.
I think the only part I didn't like about the storyline was, what's his name? Drustvar feels kind of incomplete.
Okay.
The last boss of Waycrest Manor, I think he should have been a raid boss. Raid built around him.
I do think that maybe Waycrest is such an interesting dungeon, but the sheer size of it, like that resource could have been like a... You're right. I've not thought about it until you said it then, but now I'm thinking about it, that could have been a really cool, like a full, very themed Caradan style raid.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been awesome. But as a
like
dungeon,
a
it's
mini
awesome.
raid, they could have. It's really cool design, and they have like it's big size, cool bosses.
I like how the route changes as well. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm doing awful because I'm just I don't know. I keep forgetting how to play Rogue. I am awful. Yeah, I suck at Rogue. You know this. I keep forgetting to put Blood Fury on.
just going on the whole Goraktul story, I think they have hinted that he might return, so they might actually finish that storyline somewhere down the line.
I just take these with the yellow one.
That was...
Whoa.
Yeah, so I mean, the leveling experience, was anyone unhappy with it?
Not the first time, it's just all the effort
Oh
with
yeah,
the opening the zones and everything. It's a little bit much when you're playing all.
that is
they should
something
have
I've got
more.
to agree with. Yeah, I mean, once again, it comes back to this not being a very alt-friendly expansion. You can't just get up with Legion. Also, if anyone else said Legion is so good. With Legion, you get your weapon, and it's different because even though some of the quests were kind of recycled quests, it's different. It's exciting because you're getting this new weapon with a new ability, and then you're gonna go up.
You always had that different storyline as well around
Yeah.
each weapon and each class sword hall.
And then you had the different HQs, different areas to go to with them. But also, towards the end tier, if you came up late or you came up as an alt, they made it easier to grind the weapon out. To the end, when the Mage Tower was out, I was actually leveling up characters, and within a week I was completing the Mage Tower. Like literally leveling them up in that week and then getting the Mage Tower done. And that's how I got a lot of my class Mage Towers. Just because it was so easy to get up, gear up. There was nothing really you had to worry about. You could just do it. Also, they were pretty fun and easy to do once you got the hang of the mechanics of them. So yeah, so the leveling experience was pretty good. The first time, I think, is it's definitely one of those expansions that no one chooses to level through when the new level system goes through. I don't think.
No, I definitely won't be.
No, I mean there's so many better zones to go through that are don't feel as tedious, I guess, to get through. Maybe my opinion's going to change on that in the future.
But
I
I'd like
mean-
to add to one thing as well, like
Yeah.
the whole rep grind of when you like Sandalari and such, they were easy. And like you almost got revered when you did everything, like all of the world quests and such in season 1. And then when like this was before like I think Ashara was the next point. But like when you get to Nashatar and Mechagon, the rep grind there is so long. Like you get few quests a day. You don't get like a linear type of quest. You might get some that day, and like when you are in Mechagon, you can get Chromie, for example, who will get you teleport you to another place, another alternative reality, and then she will like give you another quest. So if you get that unlocked pretty, let's say early, you get another quest as well. But those who doesn't know that, they are like stuck with just 3 quests a day and like, yeah, this is fine.
The only thing I think to add to the leveling thing as well, sorry, is that I've just thought this then. Obviously, Alliance and Horde had completely different zones. Like, not to the scale of kind of like when Vanilla, you had the zone. This was an Alliance zone. This was the Horde zone. And in that respect, it's pretty ambitious for an expansion to have 3 separate zones. I mean, I know you dabble in, you can go into the other zones, but 3 separate zones completely tailored for your Alliance. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not sure it completely works in the long term, but it's pretty awesome. An awesome thing to integrate into the game for 2 factions that are meant to be at war. You have this kingdom and that kingdom, for example, and these guys.
Yeah, sending little incursions into the opposite kingdom was quite
Yeah.
a nice idea.
But once again, not very old friendly.
No.
I think that's going to be an underlying theme for the rest of this chat. Whether or not things are old friendly or not.
Yeah, well, that's a big part of the game, but it's also like people play for different reasons. Some like the RP, some like leveling and solo play, while others are like pure endgame. And it should cater to both. It's no reason not to. Like, for those who want to level and do all the quests and have to do all the stuff to unlock, feel free, but you should have like an options to
not, yeah.
Yeah, once you finish, at least you can play the content you prefer a little bit more. Because in vanilla, you had to. The raid itself wasn't time consuming, the farming was.
Yeah, I mean.
Nobody misses that, I think. Or. There are insane people, but.
My next question is, what do you think about the dungeons? Obviously, you had 8 leveling dungeons, 2 end game dungeons, and you had the 2 extra dungeons at the end. Now, I'm a big fan of them adding dungeons on midway, and the 2 dungeons they added on were awesome. But I reckon I always like it when they add a lot more dungeons. So in Legion, which obviously is the best. Oh shit, is that guy there? Legion, which is obviously the best, they had the Super Dungeon, which turned into Mythic Plus, which is what we had this expansion, and we also had the Seat of the Triumvirate, and we had the 2 Suramar dungeons.
Yeah.
So that's a total of 5 extra dungeons, plus all the raids they did. Plus all the full zones that they had. Like, why didn't we get that this expansion, do you think? Like, was it enough? Were you happy with the dungeon content, or the amount of dungeons we had?
I definitely think they could have done with more, but I get the feeling they realised this wasn't the expansion that it was meant to be, so they started putting effort into Shadowlands.
Well, I mean, hopefully.
More so. I need to grab mana before Obelisk.
Okay.
But in
I
terms-
feel
Can you
Sorry?
go ahead? It's alright, you go.
I felt like many of the dungeons are like fun. Like, I'll be honest, Mudload it's no secret. I love Mudload. It's so fun. You can do a lot. You can like this. You can like get clear everything from the start if you have the Awakened affix. If you get that high keys.
I mean,
But
you
like-
could have done that before with the alternate routes to do things. There's so many ways
Yeah.
you can skip and change things. So yeah,
And like Waycrest Manor is also very fun. Like, you never know what to basically. Yes, you have a dungeon, but you never know what type of route you're gonna set up.
like
It's
yesterday, I
always-
completely fucked my route, didn't I? Yeah. I was like, yeah, we'll just take this here because I was that used to doing it there over the last sort of like 3 or 4 weeks, and then I was just like, oh wait, no, we needed that obelisk to skip. Damn it.
Yeah, but it happens, and like it's such a fun dungeon, and like if you look like at the lore of it and like how it fits in with everything, like I think they did a good job with much of the lore in some of the dungeons, like Tolagor tying into like with the Kultirans. And like when you have Ataldasar where you like go and fight Yasma after she's like, you know,
Spider read.
yeah. And like I think they did a really good job on them, but I feel like there could have been more to like do.
Oh, I didn't mean to click that.
I only got 3 of them.
I think we must hit at the same time. You hit knockbacks, I hit shockwave.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Oh,
I
it's
used my ooh Didi. Ooh Didi?
Odidi?
Oh Didi.
What's Odidi?
She
Hey.
did it.
Oh, I see.
I did it.
I did. Can we get her up, please?
oh yeah, sorry.
Ah, come on, Druid, do we have a combat res that I forget to use?
That was
You're the best.
doubling
Nick.
the ads.
That sounds like me. I have Bloodlust. I forget to use it and then use it when it's not needed.
Oh, the other day I was like, oh, what did I say? I said to someone, "Oh, have you got bloodlust?" And they used. I was like, "No!" I do it all the time as well. I always forget to say I don't want it, but just so I know it's ready. Is it off cooldown? Yeah, so I completely forgot we were at dungeons. Yeah, so the dungeons for me, they all fit thematically except for this one. This one kind of felt like, oh, we should have this cool goblin one where they're trying to steal the Azerite. And it just felt a bit.
It's a little bit off the other stuff, but I kind of like it.
No, so in terms of, so I was talking about there about whether it fits in thematically as a dungeon itself. Like Gunny said before, there's so many different routes you can do, and there's so much different options. All the trash is interesting. The boss fights are pretty interesting. You gotta, the first time you come in, you've got to really think about what you're doing and how it works.
But the what's it called? The Champions of Azeroth. It fits in with that.
Yeah.
A nice day.
I think it fits in more just to remind us that just on the boss, don't rank.
Okay, just
yeah.
Oh. If you need mana, I'll rest it.
So I already got going. I got a fish feast on me to quickly do it.
Get up, you lazy asses.
Yes, I mean, like, the dungeons themselves, they're all pretty tied in quite well. They're all pretty interesting, and I think they have put a lot of effort into making sure the dungeons were interesting for the likes of the Mythic Plus replayability. There are some things that you don't even realise are things until you get to a higher key, and you think, oh, this dungeon's awesome. Then you go into a 19, you're like, yeah, no, this dungeon sucks.
Cough, shrine, cough.
Yep.
I don't know why you guys hate shrine so much.
It's more just the pug of it, because it's that second boss in a pug is painful.
Which dungeon are we speaking about?
Shrine.
Until you discover how you cheese that boss so easy.
It's easy to do that boss in any way. Like
do a little bit more, I think.
Yeah.
Personally, my least favourite dungeon is the Toldazar.
I think Toldazar is sneaky because you think it's easy, and then you try and time it, and it's like the shortest timer of any dungeon, and there's so much that can go wrong there. Like with a bad group or with just an unlucky interrupts. So many need doing, especially on the Augur. Then you got the Confessor that stops you being interrupt the Augur. Oh, it's a nightmare. Without that communication or that clear just look. You're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I mean, I play one of the most difficult healers in Mythic Plus, and the Toldazar is just not pleasant for that.
Yeah, but it's fine because you're solid. No, it does suck, but the nice thing about Toldazar is...
I got bum rushed by the boss.
Don't worry too much. You could snap it on this pipe if you want, Scott.
Whenever I snap here, it bugs out, so don't try it.
That's your call.
I know you can, but whenever I've done it, it bugs.
I haven't seen it bug yet.
If it stays up there, everyone just go in melee, and you can move.
Alright, I'm on my way back. I can stay up.
Yeah, we're fine. Don't worry about it. This one's easy. He says, and then he dies because he's a dick.
Hey.
That's my bad. I'm a dick.
No, but
Lang!
What?
Lang!
I mean, she just vanished.
I don't think that would work for the dots. I would have died.
Alright, cloak.
But I was joking because I said, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Cloak was on cooldown. I'm trying to help you out as much as I can, dude.
Yeah,
So the dungeons are pretty cool. I don't think there's any bad dungeons other than you guys don't like Shrine. I think Shrine's one of the better ones just because of the same thing again. The boss fights are just so awesome. Like you've got to be aware of the things. Like I wasn't aware the other day of one small mechanic because I've never done it on like a 20. So I went to do it on a 20. the healer was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, oh, I didn't realise it was a thing. But then I stopped doing it. But then when I checked the meters, it turns out that every other DPS player had done it. So he raged at me, and I actually had done it the least. Damn! What am I doing?
That was my bad. I can.
We both went left, and I tried to go right.
We blame it on Saturday.
Doing it on Saturday. I said I was going to do this at like 10 o'clock UK time, and I got up at 10 o'clock UK time. I was like, yeah, I'm meant to be doing it by now. So about the raids, this is where I think Legion, for me, failed a little bit. I thought Nighthold sucked. Yeah, Nighthold I just wasn't interested in. It just wasn't enjoyable for me. But every other raid in Legion was great. You come into BFA, and your Uldia is... He's kind of cool. A little bit boring. Kind of cool. The last fight's really, really cool. The fact that you can completely mess up just because of 2 players not being able to use the balls. Oh, we'd have had more reses, but... I mean,
yeah.
That's my stupid. That's me being stupid then.
It's you know, I've been pretty bad this entire run, so don't worry about it. Poor Goonie is he's gonna get wrecked.
That's totally fine. I don't mind.
I think we'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Potentially. I forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, so you get like Uldia was okay. Battle of the Zaralor, excellent. Now, what was weird? What was really weird is they had 2 of the most interesting boss fights I've ever seen, with the more mechanics than an entire raid of 12 bosses, all into 2 bosses. Like, it was mental. How many mechanics he's got. It literally took me like half an hour to explain it to my raid team, who obviously weren't listening at that point. They were like, "Can we just try it now?" So we tried it, failed several times because there was just so much. I mean, also because I didn't look it up. But no.
Honestly, that raid was the best one we've had this expansion.
Zaralor? Which had Crucible of Storms, and it was so strange to have a raid released in the middle of a raid tier, like not as an in-betweeny raid, but as a raid to. I don't even know why it's such a weird decision to do. I don't know. Did you guys play Crucible of Storm?
Yeah, just on heroic though.
I mean, Nif did it with you, I think.
I think I took a break during Crucible.
Because we finished Crucible of Storm before we finished Zaralor in my guild.
Yeah, it's only 2 bosses.
Yeah, it's 2 bosses, but they're like super complicated bosses.
I never did them, but I just remember watching videos or seeing people do it, and they were so complicated from the looks of it.
Now, I think it would have been great if they were separate in a separate tier. Or maybe have like a few smaller raids in a tier together. That would have been fine. But to have it like mid-tier, it just felt so like...
So what I didn't like about Myst, with that raid especially, was very, very ranged heavy. Like, you needed pretty much everyone at range to 1 DH. So you sort of cut like your player base off from actually being able to do it properly.
We never
Well, I don't do it properly as such.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but I mean, I kind of refuse to do that. I'm like, oh yeah, this would be cool if we had loads of ranged players, but we have a full team of melee. Oh well. Like, if people want to switch over, then it's fine, but I'm not going to kick people just because they're not into the meta of the raid. Like, my raid teams are a lot more casual than that anyway. Are we Obelisk and then just get
No, need a few more.
No, just take the 2 more up there. Or 1 more.
Yeah, when we get to the end, we could just get the last guy nuking down.
Doesn't the obelisk grant 5%?
No,
No,
1.3 on teaming. So I've got a keystone add-on that shows me how much each obelisk is worth, because I kept getting that wrong.
See, I've got to get this right this time. Mythic Dungeon Tools tells you as well.
Yeah, but this one actually shows like on the timer, so I don't need to have a separate thing open. Why am I in combat?
Bomb.
No idea.
Oh, didn't mind.
Yeah, just jump on these and... I don't know, it bugs sometimes.
Well, we got percentage. We got 3 minutes to kill the last boss, so it should be doable.
I'm still in combat, I think.
There we go.
That is dropped. I got him.
I keep pressing
The
the menu.
last one. I just need to quickly repair.
We're doing dragging that up to the boss.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's all we need now. That this isn't the boss.
Yeah, that means I can pop Spirit Walkers.
No, I mean, so it's like you ended up with well, my mind's gone blank. We had the Eternal Palace, so that was a pretty cool raid. Had a lot of replayability for certain bosses, were really fun. The issue with a lot of the raids this tier is that they had so many one-shot mechanics that were based around one player not messing up. Like, so like if one player messed up a mechanic, is what I meant, is that they will fuck it for everyone, and that kind of sucks. That led to a lot of toxicity in pugs, which sucks. No one wants that. Like, a few bosses like that is fine, but having so many like that is no fun.
Our Bloodlust once he comes back down from his
Yeah, no worries, man.
phasing.
But I'll admit, one of the achievements they've done is pretty fun as well with the dungeons. Like, this one has, if you avoid all of the things like the missiles, the Gatling fire, and the bombs on top, you get like an achievement like called raiding.
Yeah.
Move away, that's going to go straight through.
And like, that's pretty
Whoa.
fun.
We're not paying attention. Can we get Lang up?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, no. They do tend to have the ready for raiding ones on the mechanic heavy bosses. They actually had it sort of twice this time, because they had one in the Mechagon dungeon that was called something Daisies or Pushing Daisies. I can't remember what it's called exactly.
Yeah, pushing daisies.
Pushing Daisies, and it's basically the same achievement. It's super cool. For me, one of the better things they did was with the raid achievements. They had the Mad Cow World, and it's nice that they can poke fun at themselves with it. You know. Oh, I do apologise. We're just going to be just out of time, I think.
Mad Cow World was from Diablo, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's kind of a little joke for themselves. It's just kind of nice when they can do shit like that. Oh, was that not the last one?
No, one more.
This one.
I didn't see it, and I used a pot. That sucks.
Yeah, started nuking as well.
I mean, like, overall, the expansion's been pretty decent. There's a few downfalls that you always get the people that say it, but like, I don't see it being any worse than the majority of the expansions. Like, I think it gets a lot of unfair criticism. Like,
But
the
people
raids,
always complain regardless. Nobody says at the end, "Oh, this is so great," because they're already tired of all the content. So
yeah, I mean,
Right.
that's just the life of an MMO. You know, you get to the end tier, you get the end game, and then this is it. This is all you've got, and it's just like, oh, it's boring now. Like, everyone I know is branching off into other games and doing different things. We were 50 seconds over time.
It's not too
It's
bad.
okay.
So,
It's not too bad, but it kind of sucks for knowing I died so many times.
ooh, I got an upgrade.
Nice, well done.
Summit.
Yes, I think overall, I think we can all pretty much agree. Correct me if I'm wrong. For what I'm getting is, there's a few things we don't like, but the majority of it is pretty good. We've enjoyed a lot of it while it was current, and it's just the fact that it was so ultimate friendly. I mean, that's the kind of vibe I got from everyone else as well.
The biggest thing for me was the storyline was just terrible as well.
I would have to disagree, but yeah, personal preference. No,
Yeah.
there's no accounting for taste.
I mean, I'm a massive Sylvanas fan, so doing a dirty like that is just not right.
Well, now see that you might change your tune depending on how that
How Shadowlands
storyline
plays out,
progresses in Shadowlands. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously, nothing's ever finally wow. Illidan, look at Illidan. He came back. But anyway, this time is over. Sticking to the rules, we are done with our chat. If anyone wants to say one last thing, feel free to now.
I like pie.
But if not, goodbye and thank you for joining us.
Right,
Cheers.
Cheers.